Hey guys, Danny Bird from Bayou Bushcraft and Survival. Thanks for bearing with me on the videos, guys. It was just, couldn't be helped. Took this long to get some content up, and I apologize. Thanks to my new subscribers who've been showing up here lately, and I appreciate that. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and get this channel out, and get a larger base watching. What we're going to do today is flint and steel. And if you're not aware of what flint and steel is, you take a iron striker, like so, and then you take a piece of flint. Now it can be, the flint doesn't appear here in the United States. If you find it's going to be in the form of what's called char. And basically any rock with a hardness of 7 and above is going to be hard enough to remove particles of iron from the steel. Let me say that again. You're removing iron from the steel, and when it hits oxygen, it makes an 800-degree spark. Now that 800-degree spark is not enough to set anything really on fire other than charred material. So you can use flint, chert, agate, any of those will work. Now you can also use pyrite, which is fool's gold. The difference there is you're not removing iron particles from the steel. You are actually removing particles of the pyrite that also combust with oxygen and gives off that 800-degree spark. Using pyrite, I prefer the method of having a tin of your charred material, whatever that may be, and then holding the steel and then taking the pyrite and coming down like so. I'm throwing some sparks there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because of the light. And you would throw those sparks down into your charred material and then take that charred material, put it in your bird's nest. With flint and steel, which is what we're going to be doing today, you'll take a piece of charred material, you'll place it up on top of your rock, or in this case, a piece of flint, using the striker. You'll come down in a glancing, kind of a circular type motion. When you do that, you'll throw sparks up on top of the charred material. Once that occurs, then you can take it and put it into whatever your bird's nest or your beginning tinder is going to be. Now, we haven't had a whole lot of rain here lately, so most of the stuff back here is really dry. So I'm going to attempt to set this grass with the charred material on fire without anything else, without any other tinder sources. If it was damp, I would use something like this jute twine. You prep this is just jute cord, you shred it up, you prep it ahead of time, place it in your tinder bag, you put in your haversack or backpack, your fire kit. So that if you get damp material, you can put the charred material in this, blow this into flame, and then put that in your damp bird's nest material. And as you're blowing that into flame, you're also drying out that damp grass. And then it will catch. And then you can put that into your fire lay. It takes longer to do it that way, but it'll actually work, whereas other things will fail. So if, for example, if you have damp, say this is damp material right here, and you use a big lighter, you'll run out of fluid in that lighter before you probably get this to light. It just won't dry fast enough, especially if it's got any real moisture built up in it. Ferro rod throws like a 3,000-degree spark, but that's not going to be enough to catch it on fire if it's wet. That's why flint and steel is still a beneficial tool and skill set to have, because and your charred material will have to be bigger, charred material, to get that long-lasting heat to dry that moisture out of that grass so that it will catch. So everybody says, well, why have a ferro rod? Well, ferro rods work, wet, dry, and you got the proper prepped materials. You can get a fire going with it. Big lighters run out of fluid. If everything around you is damp, wet, then even the ferro rod's going to be hard to make work. Flint and steel, it's a longer process. I think my time on getting a fire started with really wet grass was 14 minutes from the time I got spark to the time I got flame. Fairly long time. A lot of blowing into that and trying to get that heat to dry that grass out. But I achieved it. So don't discount flint and steel. Not to mention, guys, it's just fun. Going back to old primitive ways of doing things, and sometimes, you know, we forget what it was like back in the 1700s and further back when this is all they had. They didn't have a big lighter. They didn't have a ferro rod to choose from. So, you know, it's great to have modern conveniences. I get it. I carry them. So, like, for example, it's not a modern convenience. Well, it may not be a modern convenience, but you can find this anywhere, and it will amp up your ability to get a fire started. And that's fat wood. And just to give you an example, this is a piece of large pine, and you can see that fat wood all through there. So you find something like this, pick it up, collect it up, then cut it down into small sticks like this. And from there you can make shavings, and from that you can get a fire started. So, you know, enough of that. Let's actually watch flint and steel work. Now that I've done all that talking, hopefully it will work. It's gonna really stink if I can't get this to work right now, guys. I've done this before though. So right away it's lit. Probably can't see it lit. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in that grass there. I don't have to be in a hurry here. I've got plenty of time. You put your stuff away if you want to. It's fine. Got all my smalls, and I'm going to pull over on top of this before that all burns up, blows away. And what happened was, I didn't have a big enough piece of char. You don't start right the first time. This is what happens. So I'm gonna put a much bigger piece. Now, if I want to really ensure it, I'll use that jute twine. I don't think I really need it. I think I might go ahead just for the heck of it. Not really costing me anything. So here we go again. Okay, it's lit. Put it in here. Try to turn this where you can see it. Now, it's going. We'll turn it over on itself. Might have to pick that up, play with it a little bit. All right, that's Flint and Steel Fire right there, guys. Biggest thing is I gotta make sure this wind don't try and pick none of it up. Take it off. Now I'm gonna take this punk wood right here. This is just rotten wood. It's not completely rotten. It's on the way. We'll take that. I'm gonna set it right up in here, like so. And I'm gonna let that carbonize because there's no oxygen in that can. Biggest thing is I don't want this thing to get too big. That wind's a little bit strong. See that water bottle over there, Mr. Cameraman? Go ahead. Some of this area right here, I just want to put that out. I don't want to give anywhere to go. So what I'm doing, other than making a mess, what I'm doing here is I'm starving that punk wood in that can of oxygen. So instead of catching fire, it's carbonizing. Once, about 10 minutes probably, once it's been in there that length of time, it will be done most likely. Best thing to do is just leave it in there till your fire's out, unless you're going to have a long campfire or something like that. But this would be done while you're making your fire for your water to boil water with. I need to make some more charred cloth. When it comes to char cloth, yeah, you can use t-shirts and bandanas and things of that nature, but you would be better off using lamp wick. It's a thicker material. You can use a good terry washcloth. Advice on that: don't use your wife's terry cloth. Go out and buy your own. She catches you using her stuff, you may be living in the woods permanently. A little bit too much grass on that. Just didn't want it to go out just yet. Now, I really got to be careful back here, guys, because everything back here is pretty dry, and I don't want to set the only place I've got to really go and do these videos now on fire. That would really suck. Fire department probably wouldn't appreciate it too much, and the property owners will probably not be too happy with me. So get you a fire kit. Doesn't have to be a leather bag like this. Get you some Flint and Steel. You can order the Flint off of Amazon. You can go around creek, dry river beds and things like that. And a lot of times you can find, just pick up a rock and start, throwing it against your steel, striking your steel against it, and see if it throws sparks. If it does, throw it in your bag, your pocket, whatever. Put it in your kit. Fire steels, you can make these out of old files. Just hack them off, and they'll work just fine. You can get these on Amazon too. There's custom fire steels. I've got a guy that's a beginner blacksmith, and he's probably going to be making some fire steels. And if he does, we'll be showing those on the on the channel. And then you want to purchase some of those, I'm sure he'll be more than willing to take your money. Now, let's go back to different things you can use. Just want to put the bag out. So you see I've got several pieces of flint, and then that's quartz. Quartz works really well, as for a stone. Throws pretty good spark. I don't know if you can see them, but they're flying off of there. The biggest thing about the flint is it's going to get dull, the edges, and then you're going to have to break it off and make sharper edges out of it. These are just things you'll have to do if you want to use flint and steel. You can use a smoke's killing me. Altoids tin. They work great. You don't have to put a hole in the center of it because it's got a hinged lid. So you got enough gases escaping out of that it'll work just fine. If you want to, it ain't gonna hurt nothing to put a hole in it. This box here did not have a hole in it, and I don't know if that's going to be an issue. It is not a hinged lid, so we'll just have to see. I should have put a hole in the top of it. We'll see in a minute. And here's another thing: you can't overdo char. So you can ruin char. Because you can set oxygen to it, let it catch on fire, and then it's gone. But as far as actually overdoing char, you're not going to overdo it. So if I take this out of here, and some of it's black, some of it's brown, those brown spots in that char means it didn't get charred. It's simple as putting it back in the fire, and we're back at it. My cameraman heard something or seen something. Not sure what, but I think we're good. So get you some fat wood. This is the best stuff in the world you can have, guys, for starting fires, in my personal opinion. For one thing, if Amazon goes down tomorrow, we're all going to cry. I know people are going to break down and probably need therapy for it. But if Amazon goes down, I'm going to be hurt real bad by it too. I ain't going to lie to you. There might be a few tears shed on my part. But we'll get over it, and we'll get back to what our forefathers used when Amazon didn't exist. Man, wouldn't they be just thrilled to see how easy it is to get material today. Go back in the woods, get you some fat wood, cut it up into small sticks, put it in your fire kit, in your backpack, whatever the case may be. Carry it in your pack so that when it comes time to make a fire, if you can't get a fire started with what's around you, this is like surefire. I would not have a fire kit and not have fat wood. And somebody's going to say, well, if you can just find it back in the woods, why do you need to carry it? Okay. I'm surrounded by pine trees. I'm probably sure I can find it. But I don't know that I'm going to be in a location that is going to have trees that will have that material, that sap that will catch fire. If that's the case, I'd like to have it already prepped. And here's another little thing. I don't want to be running around in the woods in a survival situation in the pouring rain when I should be building a shelter, collecting what dry material I can get up off the ground, trying to shelter that from the rain to get a fire going. And then have to look for fat wood too. Just too easy to carry it. It doesn't really weigh anything. And I've got a ton of it here. Char, that weighs absolutely nothing. This whole bag full of stuff. I've got Surefire in here. I've got all kinds of stuff in here to make a fire with. Bic lighter, ferro rod, you name it. All right, so I don't know if this has cooled down enough. But I'm gonna see if I can at least pull this off and show you what that's supposed to look like. No, that's still good and hot. My cameraman's going to kind of assist me a little bit on this. We're going to see if we can cool it down. Oh, yeah, that's good and hot. It's not waterproof, so I don't want to get water in the box. Hopefully I haven't already made that mistake. I didn't have a hole in this, so but it's not airtight container, so it shouldn't be a problem. Where are we at on video? 20? Okay. No way not to make this long, guys. Yep, worked out great. Oh, no. It's not watertight either. There's a little bit of water in there. I don't think it was enough to completely ruin it. Barely any water got in there. So that's just to give you an idea what that looks like. Can you see that? All right. So let's get, well, you know what? I was going to use flint and steel to get an ember, but a little bit, this is still hot enough that a little bit of oxygen has already started the process. You see that? Can you see that? Now, I could take that jute twine. I still have some in here. I don't need it all. So I could take some of that jute twine, my fire lay being right here in front where we had it, set this over the top. You see how that worked? That's putting it right back into another bird's nest like I did before. Blowing that into fire. That's already lit. It's blowing. It's lit pretty good. And just to get this out, because it's getting really good and hot, I just dropped it on material. I don't want to waste it. I'll put the lid back on. Everybody's thinking, well, he first set his wool blanket on fire. That's the great thing about wool. Very difficult to catch on fire. At least with that little ember. All right, guys, look, the video went really long, and I'm sorry for that. I apologize. I haven't made any videos in a while. It's kind of hard to do this into a short, and it wouldn't have been I don't think near as good. I want you to see the whole process from start to finish, and just got to run long. Plus, if you haven't watched any of my videos before, yeah, I'm a little bit winded. I talk too much. So, plenty of people have told me that. Hey, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be doing some shorts, so look for those coming soon. Probably back here in this setting. Might be making another one here in just a few minutes. So that's Flint and Steel, guys. It still works today just like it did back then in 1700s and earlier on. Get a piece of flint and steel, get out there, start some fires. Don't set the woods on fire. That would be a bad thing. And I'll look for you in another video. So guys, Danny Bird from Bayou Bushcraft and Survival. Keep the fires lit.